Maritime Academy. Heavy weather. Introduction. Heavy weather is a term used to describe extreme adverse weather conditions which may affect the safety of the vessel and/or cargo. The same adverse weather conditions can have different consequences to the various types of vessel depending on size and the vessel's intended course, but the precautions to be taken during heavy weather are the same for all vessels. Precautions include the possibility of a main engine failure and assisting another vessel in distress. Some people are weather-wise, but most are otherwise. Benjamin Franklin. When vessel receiving heavy weather forecasts. Once vessel receiving or encountering bad/heavy weather, OW should immediately inform the master, engine room, and all crew members to take all necessary actions. Master should transmitting weather report to appropriate authorities in company, charterer, or, in case of tropical storm or wind force of a Beaufort Scale 10, danger message in accordance with SOLAS. Weather forecasts. Securing for heavy weather. Heavy objects, particularly if at a height above deck level, should be stowed securely against movement of the ship or inadvertent displacement. Similarly, furniture and other objects likely to fall or shift during heavy weather should be adequately secured. Doors, whether open or closed, should be properly secured and never left swinging. Fire doors and appropriate watertight doors should always be left closed and not secured open. When rough weather is expected, lifeline should be rigged securely across open decks. Weather forecasts. Weather forecasts should be obtained as frequently as possible and from more than one source, if available, not forgetting that the predications made on board by observing the changing local weather conditions are often more accurate in the short term than predications made from distant meteorological stations. Weather routing. Masters should, wherever possible, take the advice from a weather routing service if it is provided by the company. The reasons for deviating from a recommended track should be immediately advised to the routing organization, the charters, and the company. The master's report of heavy weather. The daily message report to the company, which indicates the prevailing weather conditions, should also indicate if the engine revolutions have been reduced or the course adjusted due to the weather conditions experienced over the past 24 hours. Contingency plans for heavy weather. 1. Verify vessel's position. Investigate safe port options. 2. Obtain up-to-date weather forecasts and expected weather predictions. 4. Surrounding areas. 3. Warn all departments of impending heavy weather. 4. Rig lifelines fore and aft. 5. Check following anchors and securing, lifeboats and lashings, watertight, doors, and general cargo stowage and securing, especially deck cargo, lashings. 6. Close-up ventilation, removing cowls where appropriate. Continue contingency plans for heavy weather. 7. Check stability, no slack tanks. 8. Note preparations in logbooks. 9. Contact shore station, passing position, and obtain constant plotting of storm's track. 10. Secure derricks/cranes and hatch covers. 11. Clear surplus gear from decks. 12. Close down dead lights. 13. Slacken off signal halyards and other relevant cottage. 14. Drain swimming pool. 15. Reduce manpower on deck by operating heavy weather work routine. 16. Take down awnings. 17. Secure bridge for excessive pitching and rolling motion. 18. Warn engine room in plenty of time to reduce revolutions. 19. Check distress rockets and LSA gear. 20. Organize meal reliefs before bad weather arrives. Effects of heavy weather on vessel at sea. To describe the behavior of any vessel in a heavy sea, the mariner should first be aware that every vessel, depending on her build, GM, state of loading, etc., will perform differently. Stiff and tender. A large GM will render a vessel stiff, i.e., give her a short period of roll, and subsequent damage may be sustained by rapid rolling. A small GM will render the vessel tender, i.e., she will have a long, slow roll motion. These two conditions, usually brought about by incorrect loading or ballasting, should be avoided so that unnecessary stress in the structure of the vessel when in a seaway is avoided also. Periods of roll and encounter. Period of roll may be defined as that time taken by a ship to roll from port to starboard or vice versa and back again. The period of roll will be to a great extent controlled by the GM of the vessel and by the disposition of weights away from the fore and aft line. Synchronism. This is most dangerous and highly undesirable condition for a vessel to experience and occurs when the period of roll is equal or nearly equal to the half period of the waves. Successive waves tend to increase the angle of roll of the vessel, producing the possible danger of capsize. General behavior of vessels in heavy weather. The options available to a vessel running into heavy weather can be restricted to 5 main categories. 1. Head to sea, or with wind and sea fine on the bow, running at reduced speed. 2. Stern to sea, at reduced speed, running before the wind. 3. Heaving to, preferably in the lee of a landmass, to allow the weather to pass. 4. Anchoring depending on depth of water. 5. Altering course in plenty of time to take evasive action away from adverse weather conditions. It has been pointed out that the successful handling of any ship will be dependent on the circumstances at the time and the characteristics of the ship in question. Draft, state of loading, superstructure, turning circles, etc. will all influence decisions taken for the safety of the vessel. The officer of the watch during heavy weather. The deck duty officer must avoid steaming too rapidly into a head sea and reduce speed early. The master's standing orders will give clear instructions on the procedure to be followed for this action. It is most important to make a logbook entry of this event noting the prevailing weather conditions. The duty deck officer must be vigilant in detecting the first sign of any weather damage on deck and alert the master immediately so that action can be taken to assess the situation. Maritime Academy.